Everyone says learn Python, but nobody shows you how to start. This is your screen right now. Nothing, no Python, no setup, no idea where to begin. And this is your screen in 15 minutes. Python installed, VS Code setup, and your first actual program running. I'm going to walk you through every single step right now. So why Python? Well, because right now in 2026, Python is the single most in-demand programming language on the planet. As you can see, according to TIOB, Python has the highest rating and it's been on this ever since May 2025 and May 2026. Okay. But here's the thing most people don't realize: Python doesn't go in one direction, it goes in five. First, we have the AI and machine learning, which is training right now, and these are models powering ChatGPT, image generation, and all of it. Web development, backend systems, APIs, full applications can be built with Python, making computer do repetitive tasks while you sleep, which is known as automation, can be handled by Python. Data science, which is the study of numbers, building charts, and finding patterns in data, can be done extensively with Python, and scripting tools that can save you some hours per week is also handled with Python. So one language, five completely different career paths. That is not an accident, and that is why every developer, regardless of what they do, always know Python. Now I'm just going to teach you how to set up Python today, but over the next 15 videos I'm going to take you from absolute zero to building a complete Python application for free on this channel. Let me show you exactly where we are going. Phase 1 is the fundamentals: variables, condition, loops, functions, and data structure. This is where you go from nothing to writing real logic. Phase 2 is the intermediate. We have the file handling, we'll talk about error handling, models, and object-oriented programming. And at this point, you start thinking like a developer. And phase 3, we'll be building projects. You build password generators to do apps, automation scripts, and one final full application that uses everything you have learned. So every video builds on the last, and every video has a project, and every video is free. So if you want all of it, hit subscribe right now, because today we start with the setup, and this is the one video you need to watch before any of the others. Okay, so right now we will be installing Python on our computer system. Head over to Chrome and type in Python download on your search bar, and the first link that comes out, which is the www.python.org, click on it and double click on the latest version of Python depending on what you want. So I'm going to install this. Come over to download, and we're going to be installing the standalone downloader or the installer. You head over to the vscode website, vscode downloader too, and the first site that come out, we click on it and we download it for Windows. You can download it for any operating system you're using, and I'm using Windows, so I'm just downloading it for Windows. So while that one is installing, let's go ahead and set up Python. On our file explorer, we'll head over to the downloads and double click on the downloaded Python file, and it's going to run. So we click on run, and make sure to checkbox the add Python to path, because it's going to give you the privilege for you to be able to use Python commands when you're in the terminal. You see that in the next chapter, and it's your choice to tick this, or you can come back and tick it later. So I'm just going to tick this, and okay, so yes, and the installation process has started. Head over back to Chrome, and Chrome has been installed. You can click on the folder to show us in the folder, and let's also install Chrome too. Double click on it, and we just follow the installation process step by step, and VS Code is going to be installed on our system. And this is just my settings, so I will head over to my settings and change my app recommendation and come back and install VS Code again. And the Python setup is successful. We're going to be checking that very soon. Since I've configured the setting again, let's click on VS Code to install it, running the program, and you have to accept the agreement. And next, this way VS Code is going to be installed on our system, and you need at least close to 680 MB of free space required. Next, and you can choose don't create, but I'm going to allow you to create a start menu folder, and I want a desktop icon, and I want this to be added to my file explorer, and I will just tick all of them. So next, and we click on install. So we wait a bit, and VS Code is going to be installed. All the files are going to be extracted, and the terminal is going to launch on installation complete. And VS Code has finished installation, and this is the checkbox launch VS Code, and it's already checked, so I'll just click finish, and VS Code should be launched. VS Code is launched very well. And the first thing I want to do is to head over to the extensions tab, which is the lowest tab here. I'm going to click on the extensions tab, and we're going to be installing Python extension. This extension is going to be what is going to help us to write Python code. It's going to help us to provide linters, provide auto formatting, code formatting, and so many other things. So over to the extensions tab, we are going to install it. So in the extensions, we type Python, and this is the Python we'll be installing. The Python language support. You can click on it to view the details of the extension you're installing, and you can see it has over 210 million downloads, and this is the detail. Python language support with extension access points for IntelliSense, Balance, debugging, Python debugger, linting, formatting, refactoring, unit test, and more. You can scroll down and check more of the things you might want to check, how it's being used, you can see, and different other things. So I've already been using it, so I know how everything is being used. So I'll just click install, and we'll pause a little bit, and the extension is going to be installed. So it's already installed, and we can come back and use Python properly. And this is the proper way to set up Python environments for coding, and I'm very happy to this point that we will be able to set up our environments for the next process, which we'll be looking at the terminal basics. So stay with me as we head over to that. On my desktop, I'm going to be creating a new YouTube folder here, and this is going to contain all our projects. So I'll create a folder and call the folder YouTube videos. Let's call this one like this, and we'll open this, and we'll open a new folder here, and maybe we'll call this folder Python, and this is what you're going to be opening with VS Code. If you can remember previously, I add a file extension for opening with VS Code. So that means anytime I right click, I can see the option to open with code, which is actually helps me a lot, rather than me going to VS Code to enter the file path and the rest. I can just right click on the file, and it's going to open with VS Code. So you can either choose this way, or you can do the latter, which is going to VS Code, open folder, and search the file you want to open or the folder you want to open. They are all fine ways to do it. So I'm going to do it this way, open with code. And VS Code is opened. Now let's look at the terminal basics. Now, first of all, before we talk about any terminal commands or what we should do on the terminal, we need to know where the terminal is placed. So, heading over to the top menu of our VS Code program, you can see a highlighted terminal. Click on it and click on the new terminal, and a terminal has been opened behind or underneath your workspace. So this space here refers to your workspace, because when you start creating files in here, this is going to be your workspace and this is going to be your terminal where you're running from. So that's the first way to open your terminal. The second way to open your terminal is by using a command, and the command is control and backtick. The backtick that is below your escape button. That is another way to open the terminal. And there are different things you can do here. First of all, you can install a package. A package in Python is a directory that enables you to manage your code effectively, maybe providing solutions and making the task easier for you. That is simply what a package is all about. So coming back here, you can install a package like maybe Flask. Flask is a web development package. So to install a package, we use the pip install Flask, and on your enter command, Flask is being installed on your system. Now, there's what they call a virtual environment. A virtual environment refers to a kind of simple and a containerized workspace where you can come ahead and create folders and packages, installing packages without it conflicting with your global environment Python packages. You're going to understand it in the coming videos. So for now, we'll just understand the practical of it. To set up a virtual environment, you use the python -m venv and the name of virtual environment like env, and press enter. The virtual environment is created here. To activate, you use the env script and activate. Click enter and the virtual environment is going to be activated. And then to deactivate a virtual environment, you use the deactivate command. And you see we stepped out of the virtual environment because it's no more highlighted there again. And to move into a folder, so I'm going to create a folder here, and outside the virtual environment, just here, let's create a folder and call it workspace. And inside the folder, we'll create a file and call it scripts. A Python file. Every Python file ends with a py. So to enter a folder, we use this cd and you put in the name of the folder you want to enter. So we want to enter the workspace. So we type in it correctly and see we are inside the workspace. To come out of a folder, we use the cd dot and this takes us one step higher from our working directory. So we are now outside again, and you can list the folders that are here using the ls command, and the folders are listed, the env and the workspace. You can make another directory from the command line using the make directory. Let's say we make a directory for app, and it's going to be shown here that the directory is created and it's app, as you have seen on the screen. Another command you can use is that you can enter the app. So let's say you want to enter the app and create a file. So you enter the app and then we call the touch and we create a file, and let's call it file.py, and the file is created inside the app, which is here. Then finally we can clear the terminal at the end of our usage. So using the clear command, you see the terminal has started to the beginning again. These are just the basic commands you'll be really making use of in the terminal as you walk forward, and you can apply to every part of your coding journey as you move forward. So let's run our first program, and we are going to just be printing hello world, but we'll be doing more. We'll be explaining the code at least a little before we dive into it mainly. So using the print function, we use the print and the print keyword and a parenthesis and a quote, a single quote or a double quote, and then hello world. and we can run the file from our terminal, and this is another command you can add to your glossary. So using the Python and the file name, so the name of the file is file.py, and running this, you can see that it's displayed on the console, hello world. You can put in another text like hello studying coding, and then I'll just bring out this one, and run it again, and you can see hello, I'm studying coding. So this can be your first project, and you should be very proud of yourself for writing this code. I'm going to be explaining this for you. First of all, the print keyword you see here is a Python inbuilt function that tells Python to display whatsoever text is inside the argument. And the parenthesis, once a parenthesis is passed to a function, it tells Python that okay boy, run the function right now, run the function as you're executing the code. So if there are no parentheses, the function was going to throw an error, or the code was going to throw an error at the end. And then the strings, the quotation marks that you hear me and is synonymous to strings in programming, for the data type of strings entirely. So a string is actually anything that is inside a quotation mark, and there are actually different types of data types. So when a letter is not inside a quotation mark like what you are going to see here, Python is going to scream and throw an error. So you also have to be aware that a quotation mark should always have a opening and closing. Don't only create the opening alone, you should always have the opening and closing. So even though I put the opening here and we try to do this again, okay, I'm going to bring out this one because of the quotation mark here. So we run it again, we'll still be seeing syntax error. You can see this one says syntax error is unterminated string literal. So all these things we'll be studying it in the next video, but this is just a kind of roundup for the video we created today. And there it is, you just wrote an instruction and a computer followed it, and that is actually the main idea of programming. It doesn't matter if the program is a line or 100,000 line, the idea is exactly the same. You give instructions and the computer executes them, and you just did that for the first time. Let's take a second look at what you actually did today. So you installed Python and you set up vscode like a professional developer. You learned terminal, which most beginners are scared of, and you wrote and ran your first Python program. So your machine is ready and you are ready. So if you want to keep going, and I really think you should, hit subscribe right away. Every video in this series drop on this channel, and it's all free, and each one builds on the last. So in video 2, we get into variables, and I'm going to teach you something about data types that your lecturer textbook probably nobody has explained to you properly in a short video. So it ends with a mini calculator. You actually proud of yourself once you have built it and once you have watched it. And at the end, everything about Python is going to start clicking. So in the next 3 days, it's going to be uploaded. One last thing, drop a check mark in the comments if your setup worked, and if something broke, drop the exact error message. I read every comment on this channel and will help you fix it. Thank you, I'm Arnold, and nice meeting you today.